welcome back to the VWD Challenge 2020. Tonight's a little bit different. I was going to do the Fast versus the Marvel this week, and things have transpired and I've not been able to do it. One, coronavirus is stopping me, so I can't go out too far to do much. Two, it's not really been nice weather. We've had the fourth storm in a row in a weekend, so sorry I can't get back. I'm going to do something slightly different this weekend. Part of my journey is telling you guys a little bit about me, which I'm going to do in a second. First of all, I want to say a massive thank you. There's a charity next week who I'm going to talk about in one of my vlogs, a happier vlog next week. I can now say that About Face is now part of the challenge bag. It's a charity that I went to see this week, and the lady who I saw was lovely. I'm going to talk more about that in next week's vlog, but obviously this week it's not been the best week. I want to give a big shout out to a couple of YouTubers whilst I'm here. So one of them is if I can find it here, one of them is Want to Be a Mouseketeer. Really good. Subscribe to her channel. She's absolutely lovely, and she's been really helpful for me for the challenge as well. Also, the other one is Two Tiny Wings. Really good as well. Shout out to you guys for liking my videos. Thank you. Subscribe to their channel. They're really good as well. So that's a quick shout out. I want to give a quick shout out to Dan. Dan is a friend of mine who I trained in the hospital when he first started, and I spoke to him this week and I bumped into him outside the school ground, and he has a brain tumour which he's going to have operated on, I believe this week. It may have been done by the time I film this. Dan, I am thinking of you, and best of luck, my friend. I'm not going to post this vlog this week on Instagram unless you guys want to post it. That's up to you. If you want to put it on Instagram and share this one. If I'm not going to put it on Facebook either this week. I'm going to just see how many people are really interested in it. So thank you to About Face. I'm going to give a massive talk out to them in one of my future vlogs, and I'm just doing a little bit more reading up. And then I went to speak to a lady, went to there, and she's fantastic. So one of the things obviously you're aware of is that I've had a double organ transplant, and I'm going to talk today for a little while about when I had the phone call for my transplant, and I'm going to try and put it in a way as not to give away too much to things that were happening in my life at the time. But if you want to share this, it's absolutely fine to share this. So 12-13 years ago, I'm going to try and describe to you what's going to happen from when I got the phone call to say there was an organ available to pretty much when I left hospital. It's a lot to squeeze into the next 5-10 minutes, but a little bit of what I'm going to say today is relevant to Dan. So here goes. 12-13 years ago in the morning, I was extremely poorly, and I had I was in bed and I was in my house, and I was waiting for my transplant, and I was on the list, and the phone went, and my then ex-wife picked up the phone, and I heard a voice downstairs, and it said, oh, she said, he can't come to the phone now, he's poorly. I was poorly because I was in bed because I was feeling ill because my organs had failed. And I heard that and I thought, oh, hang on, it could be something for me. So I run down my stairs and I said, who was it? He said, oh, she's just about to put the phone down. I said, don't put the phone down. It's the she said, oh, it's just someone who wanted to speak to you. So I picked up the phone out of her hand, and I said, who's this? And they said, it's the organ donor people. Organs become available for you. And obviously that's when the heart starts going, when they know that you've got an organ, or in my case 2 organs for me. So I had my bag packed in the car. I jumped in the car, and at the time I was going through quite a hard patch in my life and I felt fairly alone, even though in reality I wasn't, but I didn't feel that way at the time. And then I jumped in the car, proceeded to get lost on the way there, which puts a lot of pressure on you, and my ex-partner dropped me off, and then I went into the hospital, being really nervous. What I didn't realise was that when you get called up for a transplant, they call 2 people. They don't just call you, they actually call 2 people up for the transplant. And I remember at the time I was sat in the room next door and I knew there was a person by the side of me, and I felt really bad because I know that person was just as poorly as I was, but I wanted those organs. And I know that makes me sound really bad, but I wanted those organs. And I was on my own, I had no support, going through a really rough time. So after they managed to get bloods out of me, I had a bit of a sleep because it was late in the evening and the operation wasn't until the morning. And I remember in the morning they came to me and they said, "Wayne, you're the perfect match for this chap. It's an amazing match. It's you." And I felt really excited. That wrong word, not excited. I felt really relieved that I was going to go down and I might survive, I might not survive. I was so poorly, no one thought I would live, even my GP, or my ex-wife. And I remember all these emotions, and I was thinking to myself, am I going to get my transplant? I'm not going to get it. And when they came out and said it was me, I was just really relieved that it was me. But that's, and I also felt terrible knowing that the person in the room by the side then had to go home. But on a positive plus now, I actually realised that, or was informed that 3 days after my transplant, that person got called back for theirs, and they were a perfect match, and they had their transplant, so they got their transplant done. So I had lots of blood tests done. I wasn't talking to my family at the time or my friends, and I was on my own. And I know there's this big thing at the moment about people talking about they're going through hard times and the stress and depression, and I think some people are just stronger than others, and I don't judge them. Probably didn't feel too strong at the time. So I got into my gown. I was at the Churchill, and I went to the John Radcliffe in Oxford, and I went into a waiting area, and I was speaking to a chap by the side of me, and I felt really alone. I was really sort of like down by this point. So I chatting to a man by the side, and he said, "Oh, Wayne," he said, "what are you coming in to have done?" I said, "Oh, you go first." So he goes, "Oh, I'm coming in, I'm having a hernia up." I said, "Oh, really? It's cool." He said, "Oh," he said, "what are you having done?" I said, "Oh, I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to have a double organ transplant." And he looked at me and jumped back, and he was like really surprised. He goes, "Oh my," he said, "good luck to you." And in that time, that person came along, and he was just really nice, and it was probably what I needed at that time. And I said, "Well, I don't think I'm going to make it through this," I said, "because I'm so poorly." I said, "You know, it's not going to be good." So 12 hours later, after I go in for my surgery, I came out and I survived, and my pancreas started working as soon as they plugged it in, along with my brand new kidney. I didn't want people to think that I'm rubbing people's noses in it. I'm just trying to tell my story. I also hold the record. I was out after 9 days after my transplant. But anyway, after I woke up after my transplant, I went back to my room, and I was on some really powerful drugs, and you see things, and they're not very nice drugs. It's hard for me to say what my partner was doing at the time, but let's just say she was waiting along with her friend for me to not make it, and that was something else I was having to deal with, or I realised after all that time in hospital with no visits apart from my brother, who came to see me. Thanks, bro. And some good friends who made the journey up to Oxford from where I live, because it's quite a long journey. And it was a real hard time for me during my life. And it was only after that I realised that actually my family and some of my really good friends, my friends John, Barry and my mum and dad, were there for me. And they were fantastic. They stood by me, and they're just amazing, and I can't say thank you to those guys enough. And I was happy to know that the guy got his transplant afterwards. What I want to say in this vlog is I went into that waiting room not expecting to make it, and I was still terrified, and I didn't have anything to lose. Dan, who's going in for an operation, has a great kid and a lovely wife, so I can imagine how terrified he is doing what he's going through now. And when I bumped into him in the school playground this week, he said, "Oh Wayne, your challenge, how's it going?" "Going great." He says, "I watch all your videos." And he says, "If I can do anything to help you," he goes, "just let me know." And I'm thinking, this is what this challenge is about. It's about people like him, and just to let him know that there are people there thinking of him. So I was out, I got better. My current partner is amazing. She's absolutely fantastic, and we have amazing, lovely children, and the twins are just fantastic. But let's just say my battles started, a lot of battles started after my transplant, because if you think you're just cured and then that's it, you just walk away and lead a normal life, I had lots and lots of battles after my transplant, including my company replacing me because they thought I was going to die, and so that was another battle. I've had so many battles in my life where people have sort of like given up on me, but hopefully, like I said, I'm not going to go away. This challenge is going to keep going. I've been through such bad times, and people can't imagine the hell I've been through, but I can also imagine there's people out there that have had a lot worse than me. Sorry, it's another inside vlog. I'm hoping the corona's going to go. I have left you a clue to next week's vlog. Okay guys, it's up to you if you find it. There is a clue in my vlogs. Told you, I make these most amazing things. The clues, if you don't spot the clues, I can't help you out on that one, but I can say it's amazing. Thank you to About Face, wonderful. Dan, good luck. I'll see you guys next Sunday, hopefully for a happier vlog. I'm going to do some really cool stuff next week, but I wanted to get this part of my story out there. I'm sure next week I'll go from 34 views to 30, whatever. But if you want to share this story, you can do. Like I said, I wasn't just battling my transplant, I was battling someone else in my life who I thought might love me, but was actually waiting for me to obtain my halo with her friend, and so I was fighting that hostility as well. My work colleagues know about that, but like I said, I'm not going to post it this week. I'm going to keep it short and simple. That's it. I've gone on for 10 minutes. You've tuned out. Please share this story if you know someone that needs it, and I shall speak to you guys next week. And hopefully I've got another charity which I'm phoning this week who I think are going to be quite happy to be on board with the challenge as well. They're one of the slightly smaller ones, but they're amazing charities. I didn't want this week to be about autism because I've gone on quite a little bit about autism, but it's a really big thing with me, and I just wanted to let you guys know a bit about what I was like. So okay guys, I'll speak to you soon. I'm glad the camera's not gone in and out of focus this week, because last week I noticed it was going in and out of focus quite a lot. But hopefully in June you're going to start seeing slightly different vlogs. I've also got new equipment on order which is going to make some of the room vlogs a slightly better quality, and it's all work in progress. It's all building up. The push for the challenge is going to start in June, which is when these videos are going to change, and you're going to see a lot more outside stuff. The weather's going to be nicer. I'm going to be out there doing nicer stuff, more interesting stuff. I'll be able to get out more. Hopefully coronavirus is starting to fade away by then, and you're going to start seeing some really different videos, fingers crossed, if the plans go. And I shall see you guys next week. Sorry it's not been the most happy one, but the good news is About Face, amazing. Dan, good luck. I'll see you guys next week. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Hi Hi guys, sorry, my dad forgot to say hit the subscribe button in the last video to make a difference.